Unlike many new releases inspired by models of day past or signaling a new brand direction, the raison d'être of the Vacheron Constantin Overseas Tourbillon in Titanium is quite simple. It's Vacheron Constantin's sportiest model offering, meaning titanium makes perfect sense, and being a member of the Holy Trinity, so does the haute horlogerie tourbillon complication. So, if it's such a no-brainer, what exactly prompted us to pick this very watch as the cover star of our latest Now Watch Buying Guide magazine? The answer is in the question, as the Overseas Tourbillon Titanium is much more than the sum of its parts, all of which are excellent in their own right. Let's break them down, shall we? What better place to start than the dial? The lacquered blue has been the standout feature of the Overseas line, with many touting it to be the best in the business. I happen to agree with this. And even though Vacheron Constantin made a push to introduce green to the collection this year, I don't see it usurping the royal blue reign anytime soon. My favorite feature has to be the way the translucent lacquer interacts when reaching an edge, here being most obvious at the perimeter of the tourbillon aperture. The blue gradually darkens before a razor-thin white line separates it from the additional dial element, subtly highlighting it. Not that the Maltese cross-shaped tourbillon needed any additional highlighting, if we're being honest. Suspended by a hand-polished bridge, it takes up most of the lower dial portion, doubling up as a small seconds indicator thanks to a single blued screw on one of the cross arms. The dial is downright impressive, but you already knew it would be given the Overseas pedigree. What blew me away was how well executed the case finish was. This is grade 5 titanium, remember, and I could put together a long list of titanium watches that leave much to be desired when it comes to finishing, given brands' tendencies to go all brushed and call it a day. The Overseas Tourbillon Titanium is as far away from that as you can imagine, and I can safely say that it's the best finished titanium watch I've ever seen in person. The bezel is polished to a mirror finish, it's surround frosted, before transitioning to the vertical brushing of the main case. That brings you a sharp bevel away from the equally reflective case sides that taper towards the case back, reducing the footprint on the wrist. If you're at all familiar with the third generation Overseas, you'll know that it's best suited for medium to large wrists with a straight profile, owing to the watch's tendency to wear flat. The Overseas Tourbillon Titanium takes that up a notch given its increase to 42.5mm in diameter, but staying wonderfully thin at just 10.39mm. It does wear large, but not uncomfortably so, thanks to the inverted end link that turns down immediately. I briefly mentioned the exposed tourbillon while talking about the dial, though you won't get the full experience of all the treats that are on offer until you turn the watch over. The Overseas Tourbillon Titanium is equipped with Vacheron Constantin in-house caliber 2160, a 5.65mm thin, self-winding movement that's been around for some time. The usual smattering of finishes is there: Geneva striping, baseplate perlage, polished and countersunk screws and jewels, and so on. There are a few sharply beveled external angles, though anglage is quite thin throughout, with no internal angles in sight. The finishing highlight is certainly that hand-polished tourbillon bridge visible from the dial, but Vacheron Constantin makes sure none of the other components are obscured by something like a pesky rotor, instead integrating the oscillating weight into the perimeter of the movement, fashioned from 22-karat gold. Spec-wise, the 2160 beats at a leisurely 2.5 Hz, with an 80-hour power reserve. In my opinion, watches like this Overseas Tourbillon Titanium date define Vacheron Constantin today. Not only is it a highly sought-after model that was an early adopter of a current trend, it also shows off the brand's know-how in the best possible light. Would you agree? I'd be curious to hear your take in the comments. Owing to its high price and low production numbers, this won't be Vacheron Constantin's main moneymaker. Nor do I think that was ever the brand's intention. Instead, just like a flagship supercar, it's meant to be the stuff of dreams, plastered on bedroom wall posters and magazine front covers. So that's what we did. The Vacheron Constantin Overseas Tourbillon in Titanium is now available, gracing the cover of the new issue 9 of our Now Magazine Watch Buying Guide, priced at $129,000. For the watch, that is, not the magazine. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like and let us know what you liked about it, and we'll see you in the next one.